Bang. Welcome back to the number one podcast in the world. Thank you guys for smashing the subscribe button. It literally costs you 2 seconds of your time, and that's absolutely it. And it promotes us in the algorithm. So stop what you're doing, hit the subscribe button. Caleb, what should they do?
Smash the fucking subscribe button. Literally, spin and back smash it. Boom.
100%. 100%. So as you guys know, I'm joined here today with fan favorite Kaleb Rideout, one of the best storytellers we've had on this show, and a man who is on a mission, a man who is taking over the Eternal scene right now and get his strap.
Oh, fuck, mate. You know it.
I know it. First and foremost, you look like you've been to some wars lately. What's going on, man?
Oh, mate. Well, believe it or not, I didn't do this in fighting. I literally headbutted a car door. Dead set. No, my missus doesn't beat me. I literally headbutted a car door.
How'd you manage to headbutt a car door and get like a solid like cut under there? Like,
yeah, I was bloody cold the other morning. I went to go get my jumper out of the car. I've opened it up and I've managed to caught my knee and I've just gone bang straight in the old I've gone into quick trick. No. So, yeah.
In too early. The timing was off, huh?
Oh, mate, just got caught by the car door.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Shit happens, right? But by the sounds of it, you've been through the ringer lately.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I've not only I had quite a run-in with a rooster named Rocky. He attacked my Achilles, put me out for a day. That was funny.
How did you end up in a fight with the rooster?
Well, I just simply was just letting him out of the pen, just doing my thing and all that. And then this rooster came out of nowhere and jumped me, hit me square in the Achilles. I was limping for like a week.
Yeah, I can imagine. And the Achilles one's annoying, right?
Oh, mate, it was sore. It was good.
Like that expression, the Achilles heel, it's legit.
Literally stopped the greatest warrior ever, Achilles.
Aside from that, how have you been, man? How are you feeling?
Yeah, good, man. Like, I've never been better. Feeling real good for this camp. I'm looking forward to bringing the Eternal strap back down to New South Wales, so it's going to be good.
Yes, 100%. So for people who aren't aware, you've got a championship fight against Kevin Jousset. Is that how I say his name? Yep. Kevin Jousset, Frenchman, fighting over at New Zealand. Yeah. He's over at City Kickboxing.
Yeah, he's fighting out of that gym. So
very respectable gym in the MMA scene. I mean, we've got Israel Adesanya over there. I know Whitaker trains over there, and I think Volkanovski trains over there sometimes as well.
Yep.
It's very well respected in the space. Actually, no, Whitaker wouldn't train there.
No, Whitaker doesn't train there.
That wouldn't make sense.
You think about Cara France.
Yeah. But regardless, it's very well respected. And the guy is like 7'9". He's huge.
This guy is a big guy, yes.
He is fucking enormous.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter about the size. It's, that time and precision. And that's all I'm going to try and do.
100%. I'm really looking forward to it. How are you feeling coming off the back of your last fight?
Yeah, I feel good. I took about 5-6 weeks off because I ended up, setting my knuckle back on his head, unfortunately. It was good to take some time off, just doing my thing and all that. It's always good, especially in like the fighting scene, to have a break from fighting and just just enjoying life and all that type of stuff. And I find that's where a lot of young fighters go wrong, where they focus all their time and energy on fighting and don't focus on themselves for a little bit. So but it's always good to take a little step back, do your thing, and then come back in it, and you actually find that you improve.
Of course. Like you need to have, because there's two schools of thought around it, right? Like there's the one school of thought that you just need to be anal about it, super consistent, always on top of your training, always on top of your diet, always just ticking every single box. It's a very militaristic style of training. Yeah. And I've met fighters that do that and it works well for them and their personality. But I think for the vast majority of people, you're just asking for burnout.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Asking for a lack of long-term success in the sport.
Yeah, well, it happened to me in my amateur career. I was focusing all my time and energy on fighting, like 6-7 days a week, like just going at it hard, and then it just burns you out. And it actually really stopped me in my tracks for a bit. And I ended up having taken about 3 months just to find myself and getting back into it. But you can't just focus everything on that. You just need to take a little step away on yourself here and there, and then going, and you'll find that you improve heaps.
Yeah.
Definitely worked for me. Might work for you. Now give it a try.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think for, up and coming athletes and eventual possible contenders of yours after you get the strap, that is really sound advice. I find it in podcasting as well, man. Like if I'm, we had to scale back production a little bit and focus more on quality as opposed to quantity because we're doing 2 episodes a week for a very long period of time.
Yeah.
And there's just all these other factors of life that go on. The relationships, there's family, there's work, there's, just time to fuck around and just be a 22, 24, 26-year-old.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, that's
How old are you now?
25 in a couple of days, actually.
25 in a couple of days.
Yeah, 25. I'm getting old now. Fuck.
Damn.
Yeah, old. I'm going to need a walker soon. So, but you're 100% right. Fighting is, in my opinion, all about balance. Mm-hmm. Everything you do. When it comes, you got to balance your work life, you got to balance your fighting life, you got to balance your personal life. If you just got to get it all right, and once you get it all right, you improve.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened to me. Like back, so in my pro, like I was 2-2. My balance wasn't that good. I was worried about fighting, working, end up taking a step away from everything, and now look at me. I've had 4 back-to-back wins, and now I'm fighting for the Eternal strap, and I've never been more ready. I've never been more focused in my life.
And knocking on the UFC's door. Oh. I mean, who isn't paying attention to you right now?
Mate, I am bashing on that door. I'm literally up there just headbutting it going, let me in, let me in.
That's the story you should go with the car. Yeah. We'll get rid of the car door bit and we'll just say it's the UFC's door.
Yeah, I'm just smashing my head on the door. Can you just let me in, please?
Do you get presented with opportunity? Because I know you work with Phoenix. Big shout out to Basil for making this podcast happen. He represents you and Lachlan and Jacinta.
Yep.
And Jacinta as well is having an amazing career right now. I know she's going to fight in Korea, I believe, in the next couple of weeks. So how did those opportunities come about for you? Because I know recently they had the UFC, like the pathway to the UFC or something along those lines. Like I think that's going on right now as we speak. So how did those opportunities come about? Is it just they reach out or?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure because Baz manages me. So he organizes everything for me. So literally he just gives me a date and I just turn up and perform and just entertain and put on a show. Yeah. I'm just hoping that I get scouted and picked up.
Right.
And that's all I want to do.
Yeah. And I think having that management team there around you, I don't know if we spoke about it in the last podcast, but I think having that infrastructure around you and having that team around you of people that are just there to promote you and ramp up your profile and ramp up your ticket sales and everything around that is only going to take the workload off you so you can just focus at getting very good at what you do.
Exactly, yeah. And Baz organises all that for me. Like he gets it all ready and all that, puts it in front of me and it's a yes or a no. And that's what I do.
So how did the opportunity to fight Harry come out? Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. So funny. My last fight I called out.
Guys, we need to stop for a second and talk about your balls. At least 96% of you have them, which means we have over 600 balls to take care of. So I spoke to our friends at Manscaped and they're prepared to help us with this noble cause. That's right, Lucas Podcast is brought to you today by Manscaped. These guys have the best equipment in the world to help you groom below the waist. So with this exclusive offer, you will get 20% off your next purchase. All you have to use is promo code Silvera, that's SILVERA, and just use that at the cart next time you're on manscaped.com. My personal favorite is the Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer is the future of grooming and dare I say it is the greatest ball trimmer ever. The best part is that the trimmer is waterproof, so now there's no excuses to leave mess in the bathroom, Sian. And why stop at just the trimmer? With the performance package, not only are you going to get the Lawnmower 4.0, but you're going to get a weed whacker, deodorant, and you're going to get a prop reviver toner. You're going to get underwear, and you're going to get a beautiful carry bag right here. Right now, you can get 20% off your next purchase with promo code Silvera. That's SILVERA at manscaped.com. and you'll get free worldwide shipping. That's right, you'll get 20% off your next purchase at manscaped.com if you just use promo code Silvera, Silvera, and that includes free worldwide shipping. They're a supporter of the show, so let's go send them some love, and I will leave a link in the description for you guys to check them out. Thank you, and back to the show.
Joey Lucino, that's right, or Luciano or whatever. I called him out because I thought that was a good fight that was going to happen, because I was supposed to fight him before, but he ended up knocking me back, and I got offended by that because you shouldn't knock people back when they got offered to you.
Yeah.
And
what was the reasoning that they gave you as to why he knocked you back?
What my coaches told me, they knocked me back because I was coming off a 4-week fight from Drew Alexandra, I think I fought, and they weren't sure whether I'd turn up or not. But I've never not backed down from a fight. I've always turned up.
Yeah.
But so he said no to that, and then they ended up giving me David Thomas and all that down in Melbourne, and me and Joey were on the same card and all that, and I think we both won and that. And then he's been coming up the ranks too. I'm coming up the ranks. He's active. I'm active. And that's what I thought. Eternal, we're both fighting on Eternal. He was co-main event that night. I think I was like 3rd or 4th last. And then that's what I took my opportunity. I was like, let's go. I'm ready to entertain the people, put on a show and fight. And so that's I was supposed to fight him, but then I get a phone call off my coach, Coach Moe. Coach Moe lets me know, they're going to give you the strap. And I was like, fuck, okay. I'm not going to say no to that. Okay. I better get back to training.
That 5-6 week break would have, been well done and dusted, and you're really ready to hyper focus on this next objective now, which of course is to get the strap.
Exactly. I've never been more focused in my life. Like, I've literally been fighting and fighting and fighting, and this is my opportunity on the big stage. Bring that belt home. Doing it for me, doing it for my family, doing it for everyone at Triple X. I'm just eager to bring that belt back.
Yeah.
In style too.
That's the thing with you. You're very efficient when you fight. You time everything very well, and because you're so efficient and you're so technical, it gives you these opportunities to be flashy. There's very few fighters in the world that have that ability to be flashy and pull it off. For the most part, it's about being clinical and just getting the job done, no matter where you are in the cage. But with you, you've got such precise timing and such ferocious speed that you just have this ability to just strike from anywhere.
Yeah.
There's nowhere in the cage that I would want to have to be dealing with you. Nowhere.
Oh, thanks.
No, honestly. And I credit to you. I give credit to you on your last fight against Ben Johnston. It was, very hyped up and highly anticipated fight for you. It was going to be a real challenge on the Eternal scene. And you completely destroyed him, and in devastating fashion.
Mate, that was intense. Like, everything about it was intense. So coming up to that fight, I think we were a week out, and I get a phone call from one of my coaches going, I can't make it. I've got COVID. And I was like, oh, crap.
And this is during your weight cut, a week out.
Weight cut? What do you mean weight cut?
No weight cut?
No weight cut.
Sir.
No weight cut. I think I talked about it on my last podcast. I don't cut any weight at all. I walk around max 80, 82 kilos on a good day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a huge advantage.
Yeah, I find it is a great advantage.
Yeah.
Because I'm literally eating the night before weighing. I'm literally fine. Like, nothing. I literally wake up and jump on the scales, and it's like
no sauna sessions, no dehydrating the body. See,
nothing.
That's the move I always push fighters to make.
Nothing.
I always say, you know, I get the psychology behind wanting a 3, 4, 5 kilo advantage on your opponent, but the mental toll and the physical toll that just dehydration alone takes on your body is not worth it, in my opinion. I've never stepped into a cage, you know, so I'm analyzing this purely from a health perspective as opposed to a competitive perspective. But from just where I sit and where I see fighters the day before they fight, you know, frail and weak, I'm like, this just can't be good for you. So to be able to fight at your natural weight, I mean, hats off to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. It's literally like I literally just wake up and fight.
Yeah.
That's literally it. Like my last opponent, Ben Johnston, is a prime example of that. He looked like, I still remember seeing him on the weigh-in day. He looked drained. There's drained. Like some fighters will know, like when they look at the opponents, like, oh yeah, he's a bit run down and all that, but he looked drained. And you could tell because now he's fighting on the same, he's in the undercard of my fight and he's actually gone up a weight. He's fighting at middleweight. So I think he's realised that 77's a bit too much of a cut for him.
Yeah.
Because he looked absolutely drained. And I think he's moved to the middleweight, and I think that'll be a better weight for him too. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that's a big part of a fighter's career is finding the weight class that they really fit into. I know Rob Whittaker recently is kind of, you know, off the back of his second loss to Israel Adesanya, people are kind of questioning, okay, like, you know, you lost to the same guy twice and clearly you're a very strong contender, but you don't have that edge to beat him, you know, and maybe he does. Maybe he will come back a third time and be able to pull it off. But
third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm, right? I don't ever want to rule out Whittaker because he's a massive contender and a massive representative of Australian MMA.
No, he's good. He's really good.
But I have been seeing online, there's been a lot of buzz about, is he going to go up in weight class? Is he going to go down in weight class? And I think, you know, for a lot of these amateur and up and coming pros, finding that right weight class for yourself is critical for success. You can't find success until you find the right weight class.
Yeah, exactly.
And you found that.
Yeah. Well, I tried. So my whole amateur career was in 70. Like I used to fight at 70 kilos. So I used to do the cuts. And that, and I would feel that.
Sorry, your mic's hot, Sion.
I would feel that that I'm drained in the fight. Like come the second round. These are 3-minute rounds. Like the second and third round, I'm absolutely fucked. Like it's ridiculous. And you can see that in my amateur career. Like all my fights went the distance in the amateur career because I just didn't have the punching power or anything like that because I'm just so drained. And then I moved into the pros. I had one fight at 70, my first fight, and I lost. And once again, the weight cut was too much for me. And then I moved up into the 74 kilos and just to play around with that. And I felt better. Like I felt stronger. And then as soon as I hit the 77s, I've just been knocking people out.
Yeah.
And I feel comfortable doing it. Like I sure all my opponents are like, believe it or not, I'm small in that weight class, and they're all bigger than me. But the thing is they're cutting from massive weights and they're gassing quick and I'm just, thank you.
And they're going to be more prone to being knocked out. Like when you dehydrate the brain in such a drastic way, you know, when you're in the sauna for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours at times, and you're just extracting all this liquid out of your brain. I mean, that liquid's there for a reason. It's to stop things like concussion. So you just, the day before you go into a fight, you shouldn't be dehydrating the brain in such a way. I spoke to Justin Van Herdeen recently. He's co-main eventing with you.
Yep.
And he was like kind of telling these stories about how he would get these last minute call-ups to fight in weight classes that, with all due respect to Justin, he had no business fighting in. They weren't his natural weight classes. Are you getting those last minute call-ups as well? Are people saying, hey, can you put on 5 kilos and fight for this event because we had a last minute cancellation, or can you cut 4 kilos and go down? Like, are people asking you to do that?
Not really. So the only last minute call-up I got was from Suman for Urban Fight Night in last year. That was a 3-4 week call up.
That would have been December. Oh, this was like early.
January, no, February.
Okay.
February, like it was early. That was the last, but other than that, because I'm signed with Eternal
Yeah.
as a contract, fight contract. So pretty much they've got my fights planned out. So I'm pretty sure they've got my next fight planned out when I win this one. So who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, Justin signed to Eternal as well, and that still happens to him. So, obviously circumstances dictate sometimes where a fighter fights, and he's the kind of character that would just take anyone at any weight class at any time, which I do respect, but I do think in that case you do have the upper hand.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Let's watch your fight.
Yeah.
This is against Ben Johnston. I just had it here. Where'd it go?
Disappeared on you, mate.
Disappearing on me. This is a one-man show today because Sian has been rendered useless.
He's all right. He's had a traumatic experience, mate.
So
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. So you were detailing to me a little bit off air about how things kind of weren't working out for you.
Yeah, so, mate.
In the lead up to this fight.
In the lead up to that fight. So, yeah, one of my coaches had COVID, so he couldn't make it. Mm-hmm. The other coach was away, couldn't make it. And then Coach Moe, his whole family had COVID and he was sort of like isolating himself from it. So this is a week out from my fight. So I'm standing there a week out from my fight. I'm going, I've got no one to corner me. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I literally, I went to my best mate, Tristan, and I'm like, hey, bro. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, how would you feel, to corner me? And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, I've got no corners, no coaches coming. I might need you to corner me here, bro. And he's like, I mean, if I have to, I will. And he ended up coming up.
What was his name?
Tristan Petraeus.
Big shout out to Tristan for coming through, man.
He goes hard, that kid.
Yeah.
Too bad he lost to Linkr.ee, but no. Shout out Linkr.ee. Look, and honestly, he made that whole fight thing because I was actually low key starting to peak a little bit. I've never peaked before a fight because what happened was, so it was me and him at the weigh-ins.
Yeah.
And I walked into the weigh-in door with him, and then Ben Johnston's walked into the weigh-in door with me. But he was massive, like he was a big guy, like big. And he looked, as I said, he looked drained, like he looked terrible. But the thing is, he didn't look like him, like, because he had long hair the last time I seen him. He had shaved his head and that. So, and I was like, oh, bro, you all right and all that? Like, and he's looking at me like, oh, what? And I'm like, yeah, you right? And he's like, oh, yeah, well, I'm fine. And then he walked off. And then my mate Triz was like.
Was this at the weigh-ins?
This is at the weigh-ins. And Triz was like, bro, that's your opponent. And I went, nah. He's like, yeah, that's your opponent. And I'm looking at him like, surely not. Surely he's missed weight. Surely. Because he was big. Like, he was massive. And I was like, oh, fuck. Anyway, so we've weighed in, right? We weighed in. And we're sitting about 4 rows back and we're watching him and he's just officially weighed in. I've just officially weighed in. I sit back down and then they give us the all clear to eat and drink and all that stuff. Mate, I have never seen a man consume that many burritos in his life. Like, fucking hell. Bro, me and my best mate is sitting right there and we're staring at him like, and he's just one bite, just burrito, and then like 2 liters bottles of water just going down. I'm sitting here with my one liter spring water just going. Anyway, so we're watching him just consuming all this food, and I shit you not, bro. Tristan leans in, taps me, and goes, "Oi, I'm low key worried for you, eh?" And I was like, "Mate, you're supposed to support me here, bro."
Tristan, I take back that shout out.
He looked me dead up and he's like, I'm low key worried. Like, I'm peeking for you. And I'm like, oh God, all right. All right,
That's hilarious.
But at the end of the day, size didn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as we can see here. Okay, so this is right as we're going to have to play it off my laptop. And then for the guys at home, I'll throw it in post-production. So you're looking very energized and very kind of eager to get on with it. Were you planning on an early stoppage? Were you planning to get it one and done?
Nah, I wanted to, put on a bit of a show, open up my face a little bit, for the crowd, just drip a bit of blood, But, I'll take an early stoppage. See, I nearly was going to disqualify myself because I went to head kick him on the ground. This ain't Campbelltown.
I think there is one association where you can like soccer ball kick people.
I think it's one, is it?
Yeah, that's brutal. So you're pressed up against the cage right now,
So
eating some clean knees, might I say.
Well, yeah. Well, see, I felt him gas there.
Yeah.
Like when he was so when he put me up on the cage, as I said, the weight cut, like I felt he was strong for the first 4 or 5 seconds. And then I just, he just disappeared. And that's how you could see I get my double unders and
Yeah.
and then get back out. Like,
Yeah, you got out pretty easily, I have to admit. Like when I was watching the footage the first time, I was like, oh shit, that doesn't look good because you were pressed up against the cage, you weren't in a great position. Your footwork was nice, but I was like, you're in some trouble here. And then within like 4 seconds, you just turned it very quickly.
Mate, I'm pretty. I'm like a Shetland pony.
Okay. And then you catch him with a couple overhands here.
Yeah.
In true Rideout style, huh?
Mate, he nearly lifted me up there, eh?
And then straight to the call out. Job's done,
Yeah.
straight to the call out.
Well, that was on his crowd. His crowd was, into me as they do, the local crowd. So,
Where was the fight?
Gold Coast. Gold Coast. It was, I can't remember. Southport? Somewhere around there, Southport.
Right.
And there's my best mate there in the green. So so I ended up taking a still shot and put it on my Instagram. There's a photo of me up on the cage with my arms wide open, and Trizzy has seen it and he's mirrored me.
Yeah.
And I've screenshotted that photo and put the photo of the big joker and the little joker, as you can see.
Right.
And caption it, when your coaches are all sick and get your best mate to corner you. 1 from 1.
No, you might be out of a job soon. Tristan
nah.
might be coming for it.
Nah. I'm not. Coach Mo, he's always got a job with me.
Yeah.
I can get him doing some work.
No, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. So how are you feeling after that fight?
Yeah.
Like considering that you got him in such a flashy style, like your favorite, the spinning fucking elbow. What's with you and spinning elbows?
And I when in doubt, spin it out, mate.
Spin it out.
Spin it out. But no, I felt good. Like I felt good. I was more shocked than anything because it was over quick. Like as I was prepping, like you prep for a fight.
Yeah.
And when it was over, I was like, oh, like, okay, what's next? But yeah, no, I felt good. I felt really good after that.
Yeah.
I felt good. I know it gave me like in the head, like just like, I don't know, like a really good sense of where I'm at in the fight game. Like, cause he's not no walk in the park. Like his career is a Muay Thai fighter. He was like 2-time, I think Australian or world champion or something like that. Like he's a really reputable fighter. Like he's up there. And then like, so I was expecting like, a proper war. But when it was over in 60 seconds, I was sort of just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Off to the next one. Here we go.
One. Tick him off the list. It's done.
It's done.
Yeah. So you leave that fight. I assume you go celebrate, party a little bit.
Yeah, we celebrated, but we got the next day we woke up really, really sick. Like,
right.
Really sick. Like me and my fiance went up really sick, and we got,
so she travelled out with you?
Yeah, she come up with me.
Oh, awesome.
And then we got back, and then we're back to New South Wales, and we were still sick and all that. We ended up testing ourselves, and we ended up getting COVID up there. So yeah, so it was rough. So
damn.
Yeah, but other than that, all right.
And so you then decided to take 6 weeks off, you said?
Yeah. I had 5-6 weeks off because I pushed my knuckle back And
Was that just off hitting him?
yeah, so I did it when he went down, and I come over with a big right hand. I must have hit him right on the top of the head because fuck it hurt. I felt
Did
it
you know in the
like-
moment?
Nah, I felt it straight after. Like when I hit him, and then as soon as the fight's done, obviously the adrenaline dump comes down, and then I felt it straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so how did you approach that 5-6 week period off where your hand was healing? Like what did you get up to in that time?
No, not much really. Just just doing me, like just work and all that. Getting a bit of extra money here and there, and then then the fight come up and then back into it. So pretty much just relax, really.
Yeah.
Getting a good headspace. On to the next one.
Yeah, sweet. So you've been busy outside of the fight game as well. Announcement to make, perhaps?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of where I was angling to.
Oh yeah, I see what you were doing now. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be a dad, so I'm pumped. Sort of, it caught me by shock because my fiance wasn't able to have children, so we found out that, and then something must have worked because. I'm a kid now. Sorry, baby.
They call him a crazy horse for a reason.
It was crazy because what happens? Because so we found out 8 weeks in. So she's got all blockages in her fallopian tubes and all that. And what happened? So she ended up getting we come back from Fiji, and she had a kidney infection and all that. And
was Fiji before or after the fight?
Fiji was before.
Right. Okay.
Before. That's right. It was before. And we come back and she had a kidney infection, and she went into hospital for about a week, and then they done a test there, and it come up positive that she was pregnant. And then they tested it again, and then it was negative, which was weird.
Very weird.
Very weird. But so we just went on, nothing like that. And then a couple of weeks went by and all that, and then we had my fight and then COVID. Actually, sorry, before that, it was actually funny because my fiance was sick, and we got a pregnancy test, and she tested and it come up negative.
So why the desire to get the pregnancy test if you just had the...
Because she had all the symptoms, like all the morning sickness and all that type of stuff, like everything. And we got the pregnancy test, and she tested and it come up negative, and then we put the test next to the bed, and we fell asleep, and we woke up, and when the morning it was positive. And we were like, what the hell? And then we Googled it, and it said after a long periods of time that it can go positive. So like I just wrote it off. And then what happened was we're in COVID. So she was booked in to get half her tubes ripped out. But we got COVID, and that pushed the operation back, and she was still sick. She was still so sick. And we ended up like, you got to test again. And when she done it, within 10 seconds, it come up positive, and then blood tests and all that. And then, a couple of days before the operation. So it was bit crazy because
talk about timing.
Yeah, because if they would have opened her up, the baby would have passed. So wow. Spoiler alert, it's a little girl. Sorry, I can't hold it in anymore.
Well, that's awesome, man. I'm really happy for you. Congratulations.
And as soon as I found out, I don't know, it's I'm not fighting now for myself now, like I'm fighting now for my family now. So like everything is in the way is gonna stop food for my daughter's plate. So
was there an immediate perspective shift for you?
Very immediate straight away.
Yeah,
like I felt real grown up real quick. Oh, I'm gonna be a dad. Here we go.
Yeah, it would have been a real shock to your life.
It's time to tuck in the shirt and let's go.
Yeah.
Now, so
are you looking at MMA because mixed martial arts for the longest period of your time has been a sport of passion and a sport of desire. And I imagine a part of it as well is to kind of fulfill your own ego as well, right? To be able to say, like, I've done it. I can do what I said I'm going to do, and I'm worthy towards some sense. Do you know what I mean? Because you put in the hard work and you prove yourself on a stage, and then you go to the next stage and prove yourself on that one, and so forth. And that's how you work up the hierarchy. So has your perspective from that now changed from trying to, achieve as much as possible? And are you looking at it now like, oh, this is a job. This is how I provide for my family. Like, this is my career?
Not really. The time I looked at MMA as a job, it became a job, and everyone hates their job.
Right.
So it didn't feel right for me. And I look at MMA as fun. Like it's I want to do as like, I want to, really excel in it as much as I can. But, I look at it, the more you have fun with it, I feel like the better you're going to go with it. And ever since I started not looking at it as a job and just treating it as just fun, it works for me, and it wins, and I'm getting the wins. So
yeah, that's a very good distinction to make. It's very, I think, important for people to really fine tune their relationship with their craft, because if you get sucked into that world of it being a job or it being something that you have to do, it takes away the soul from it.
Yeah, it does. And it's like, I don't know, I tried it for a period of time there where I just, all it was fighting. So I'd wake up, it's fighting, lunchtime fighting, dinner fighting, bed fighting.
Yeah.
And it just, and then you have a bad day, and then it's terrible. It's a terrible day.
Yeah.
You have a bad day at the gym, and that just brings your mood down and all that. Now I go to work, have a day at work, and then when I get to the gym, I enjoy the gym. I train, do everything I need to do, and I've found that I've grown more, like in my game, everything like that. So
I was recently speaking to Brian Defina, who's a professional bodybuilder, and he recently ranked 3rd in Australia for a super heavyweight, so he's plus 100 kilos. A huge guy, he's jacked and super deep voice, like he's a real bodybuilder. He's legit as they come, in Australia especially. And I remember asking him, I said to him, like, do you ever have days where you don't feel like training or you don't want to rock up? I don't even think I asked him. I kind of just assumed it. I kind of said to him, oh, but everyone has those days where they don't want to be there. Yeah. And he just point blank said, nah. Like, I just love this thing. And if I don't go, I'm sad. Like, I have to be there.
Yeah, I would say I'm the same like that. Like, it's my release. I get there, do my thing, and then I go home.
Sorry, Sian, can you close that curtain? We're just getting a bit of sunlight in there.
It's blinding me. Yeah.
So you were saying?
I forgot what I was saying.
We're talking about just how MMA shouldn't be treated as a job. And
I don't reckon it should be like treated as a job. Like, I mean, some people may work for them. I'm not saying, my way's the way.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their own way on how they do something. You have your own way of doing podcasts. It might be different to another guy that does his podcast. I have my way of doing fighting. Some people have their way of doing their fighting. I find that fighting works best for me when I actually enjoy it. Like, I go in, I train, I look forward to training and all that. But when training is just everything for me and all that type of stuff, I feel like I decline massively. Yeah. And I don't learn and I don't grow.
So speaking of learning and growing, are you adding new things to your arsenal now for your fight with Kevin? Are you fine-tuning a certain strategy? Are you seeing holes in his game? Like, what can we expect from you this next coming fight?
Well, I'll let all my coaches look at that, and then they work it in. They work with me and drill me on stuff and all that. But I'm always fine-tuning. I'm always doing stuff behind the scenes and all that, getting better. Well, from whether it's my grappling, my cage wrestling to jiu-jitsu, like, I'm always doing stuff and all that. But I like keeping the fight standing. I always like keeping it standing for just entertainment reasons. Like I'm here to entertain people.
Yeah.
Like that's why Eternal, get me on their shows, because I'm here to put on a show. I'm here to get a highlight finish. I'm here to have a bloodbath. Like I'm entertaining. That's what I want to do. Hence the name Crazy Horse. So
yeah, it's really admirable because I think it's very compelling for some fighters to take safe bets, take safe fights, take safe strategies in games. If you're going up against a striker, it's very common that you see someone who's not as proficient in striking to take them to the ground so that they're safer. And, even if they're not going for submissions or ground and pound, at least they can be in your guard and be in the dominant position and just hold it there. You see a lot of that, especially in the amateur ranks, and you just see it on some professional cards as well.
I'm pretty sure I said this in my the last podcast I was here. I don't have a game plan. Like I have where places that I want to go and that, but I don't have a game plan. I go in there and just feel it out and fight. I just go in there and see how the fight goes. If striking's working for me, I'll strike. If wrestling's the better option, I'll wrestle. If grappling, I'll go to those different. I'll go to those depending on how the fight goes. But I find when I had a game plan and you get punched in the face, you forget it, and it just all goes from fucking shit from there.
Yeah,
and then you're stressed, and then it adds a stress in the fight because you're like, oh, what the game plan? You're trying to think about that instead of just getting in there and fighting.
Yeah.
So and then it's just go in there, just do your thing, do a little dance. So that's what I do.
Yeah, and I think there's things you can't prepare for as well. Like the fact you were probably prepared for a 5-round war or a 3-round war with Ben. You were probably expecting that, and then to get that early knockout, I think if you had stuck and married to a certain game plan and a certain strategy, you might not have taken that chance with the spinning elbow.
Exactly.
It might have inhibited your actual performance.
Exactly.
Sticking to one script.
Yeah, 100%. That's why he was pushing forward on me, and he straight away, at the start, he attacks my legs straight away because they would have seen in my Cody Barnwell fight that I took a few too many leg kicks and limped my way around the cage for the next 2 rounds. But and then I could feel him coming forward, and that's why when he come forward, I just threw it and timed it and just went from there.
Yeah. So July 16th.
Yep.
July 16th. Exciting times over at Eternal. It's a very stacked card. There's a lot of really exciting fights on there.
It's actually like I can't believe I'm headlining it. Like there is some big names in that card, big names, and I'm I'm headlining it. So
yeah, I mean we've got Van Herden versus Lauvi, Pereira versus Fillet, and then I mean like even the undercard. You're looking at some of these names. Like these are well matured, seasoned fighters. Like Eternal really threw the kitchen sink at this card. So for you to be headlining, it must be such an honor.
Right? Yeah. I'm just going to come in, with a skip in my step and a can-do spirit, just do it. So, but yeah, like I couldn't believe it. Like I've got a few people messaging me going, man, there's some big names on this card and you're headlining it. Like,
yeah. Well, when I saw it, honestly, my genuine reaction was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Like Eternal's not stupid. They know what's up, and they know that with you, they're going to get highlight reel finishes. They're going to get exciting fights. They're going to get exciting matches. It's what, as a promotion, you want from your fighters. You want the best of the best fighting the best of the best, and you want to see what happens.
Exactly. And that's why I think they got Kev for me, because he's notorious for striking. Yeah, I'm notorious for striking and all that. So I think they're hoping for a bloodbath, and I'm sort of low key hoping for a bloodbath too. So it'll be good. But a few more scars to my face, some proper fighting scars instead of some car door scars. So, but and that's what I reckon. It's probably going to be a lot similar to my fight with Barnwell. It's just going to be action packed. There's going to be hands thrown everywhere, elbows, knees, kicks, some spinning shit. Hopefully, like you just don't know. It's just going to come out you, and then one of us will probably get knocked out, or we're going to be bleeding. So
let's talk best case scenario. Best case scenario, you win.
There you go.
Of course.
That's best case scenario.
Of course. You come home with the strap.
Yep.
You get it. It's polished. It's nice.
I'll be walking around naked with it. Just walking around.
What do you want after that?
Mate, whatever comes to me.
Are you looking at just defending the title? Are you looking at just holding onto it for as long as possible? Are you looking at possibly international fights? Like, how do you see it unfolding?
I'm looking for a UFC contract.
Yeah.
So I will do anything to get that UFC contract. And when I get that UFC contract, I'm looking for the belt. So whatever gets me there, So if I have to defend that belt, I'll defend it. Mm-hmm. No worries. I'll defend it any day of the week. You know, if they want to fly me somewhere and fight somewhere, I'll fight anywhere. But I'm going for this contract. I've dedicated 6-7 years of my life to make UFC and to be world champion, and I'm going to get it. So,
and nothing short.
Nothing short.
Nothing short. World champion.
That's it. That's what I want to be. World champion. UFC world champion. You know, I look at Robert Whittaker. He's a UFC world champion. You know, he's unreal. All the world champions.
Yeah.
Look at them all. You know, and then I just picture myself. That's going to be me one day.
Yeah. Do you spend much time in visualization or meditation or anything like that?
Not much. I get into my meditation before my fight. So it's a weird thing I sort of do. Like before my fight, I'll get down and actually like just put myself in a headspace, like prep myself. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know. I sort of just, it's hard to explain without coming off weird.
That's all right. You can be as weird as possible.
But I sort of like, I get down and then I visualize it and I just become this fighter. Like I just become who I am. Like all my training. Like I'm just turning into myself. And then by the time I'm ready to walk out, and this is like moments before my fight, like I'm walking out and I'm ready. Like I'm ready to go. And it doesn't feel like I'm myself. Like I feel like I'm walking behind myself with the bucket, just going, you know. But
you're Tristan.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm just watching myself walk out, going, "Oh, like he's got a can-do spirit." Yeah.
I asked because recently I had a hypnotist on the show.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Yeah, I mean it was interesting.
Did you make chicken sounds?
Well, that was one of the big things that we were talking about, is that people's understanding and their notion of hypnotism is that you're going to walk around on stage without your pants on and not know what's going on. And that is a form of hypnotism. It's called stage hypnotism. But what he really specializes in is like more general hypnotism. So for people that are trying to quit smoking or people that are trying to become deal with PTSD and stress and trauma. And one of the avenues he mentioned was athletes. So I'm sure you're aware, but Mike Tyson religiously got hypnotized from the age of 13 onwards. And he kind of just then went in and got massaged into his subconscious over and over and over again that he was going to be a world champion and that he was going to... Not that he was going to, that he already was a world champion. And so this 14-year-old kid that weighed 200 pounds, and was knocking out grown men was walking around like, yeah, I'm the world champion. I'm the world champion. And it was that degree of certainty and that degree of confidence that allowed him to excel beyond what anyone had ever accomplished prior. So I'm curious if you've ever looked at avenues like that. And I'm not trying to push you a sales pitch or anything, but I'm curious to know if you've ever thought about getting hypnotized to really embed that into your brain, or would you consider it?
I don't know. See, I'm not I'm down to give it a go. I'd always be down to try something, but I've sort of got my own mentality, like my own, like I'm a beast in my head type of stuff and all that, like how I go. But I'd be up to try something like that. Maybe next time you get him on, you get me on the thing, we can test it out on me and all that. But I don't know. So what does he like? What does he do? Like he just...
Yeah, so he did it on the show to me and we just did an induction, right? So he didn't actually suggest anything onto me. He didn't like program me, if you will.
Yeah.
It was more so he just put me in this really, and mind you, we're here with all these stage lights and everything, so it's not optimized for it, but he put me in this really induced, like deep rest within like 2 minutes. And I'm just listening to his voice talk me through it. And like there was a point where he's like, all right, open your eyes. And like I'm trying to open my eyes and they're not working.
Right.
You know, so I was on this like, kind of like brink of consciousness, but not really conscious.
Were you faking it? You can tell me. I promise to keep it a secret.
No, I honestly was. And I think if you closed your eyes and listened back to the audio of him talking, you would find yourself in a similar state. You know, like he has the ability to do so.
Just don't do it while you're driving, listeners. That could be very bad.
Could be quite dangerous.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. But I don't know. I'm just fascinated by this world, and I'm fascinated by how athletes go from just being physically conditioned, right? Like, because obviously you have the physical conditioning, you have the skill set, you have the ability, right? We've seen it time and time again where you just deliver on every occasion that you're asked to, you deliver. But my personal belief and what I really am starting to come to understand through this process of podcasting and getting to know all these fighters and athletes from all walks of life is that what separates the real 1%ers is the mentality and the mindset.
Yeah,
and
couldn't agree with you more.
And I've become obsessed now with fine tuning that and treating this as a craft where I treat podcasting as a sport, and I'm just an athlete in this sport trying to fine tune and get better and better at it. So if you are interested, you know, I can pass on his details.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not on commission. I'm not being sold anything.
You're 100% right though when it comes. It is mentality. Like you can be the greatest fighter in the world, but if you're not mentally strong, like you won't get that far.
Yeah.
Won't get that far. And that's why you see it a lot with the Navy SEALs and all that when they do all their training. All it is mentality and break. Yeah. So I was reading a book once. It's called The Operator. Really good for your mentality and all that. And it's just a great story. Yeah. About the guy who shot Osama bin Laden. So interesting. Mate, honestly, check it out. And so one of their things that they did to break him mentally was they flew him out to an island, and they were doing their deep sea diving and all that, where they like practice putting their bombs and explosives and all that. But beforehand, they told him that it was all shark infested waters and all that. And then in there for a week, they weren't allowed into the waters. And all they would do is make them watch like Jaws and Shark Week and all that type of shit. So you imagine you're about to go into shark-infested waters, and all it is just they just made you watch Jaws and all that. So you'd be peaking. And in the book, don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure like 15 of them pulled out without even getting in the water. Wow. Or that's just in like breaking someone mentally there. But little did they know that like no one was ever attacked by a shark there. So but yeah, like that. Give that book there. The Operator. The Operator is a really good book to read if you want to like mentality and all that, just on the training, and there's some really good stories and all that on there. So. You know, I can't remember who said this. I wish I could quote them. But is it Gandhi? Yeah, it's probably Gandhi. He was like, if you looked at the process in which we use to make Navy SEALs today and you wanted to start it now, there's no way you could do it because it is so brutal and so intense, and it is genuine human torture to figure out that 0.1% of people that won't crack. But it's the only way you make SEALs. It's the only way you make these insane freaks of athletes that not only have combat capacity but have endurance capacity, that can operate arms, that can, you know, be left at sea for 3 days and survive, and parachute out of planes. I mean, these guys live very, very harsh lives. You know, they're probably, I would say they're the toughest people in the world. Oh yeah. Some of, like, especially in that, some of the stories that he tells and all that, like it's incredible. And a line from that, I'm pretty sure it was that book, that it's always stuck with me, and it's always good. It motivates me when I'm training and when I'm nearly out, is like when you're absolutely exhausted, you've got nothing left and all that, you're only 5% depleted. You've got 95% more in you.
Yeah.
And that line has always stuck with me. So no matter how tired I get when I train, when I fight, I know I'm only 5% depleted and I've got 95% going. My mass was fucked then. 95% to go.
Yeah, no, dude. And I think that's what really separates the you from the crowd, man. And I really think that's what's going to give you the edge to not only get that UFC contract, but then go on to become a world champion. I have no doubt in my mind that, I've interviewed a lot of fighters now. I've gotten very familiar with the space and I see how people act on camera and off camera, how they say they train and how they actually train. And for me, the proof is really in the pudding. And, I know, from the very few interactions that we've had, that you actually do deliver on everything that you say you do, and you do train as hard as you do, and everyone around you says the same thing, that you're so fucking focused on this thing, man.
That's it. As I said, I've dedicated a good portion of my life to this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pull out now.
So when you do become world champion, you better be on the fucking show.
Oh, well, mate.
You have to.
I'm down. I'll be here. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. But yeah, I promise I'll be back in here.
Yeah,
as soon as I'll get my UFC contract, I'll be back here. And then when I'm world champion, I'll bring it. I'll sit the belt right here.
Right there.
Clip that. I'll sit the belt right here. Hopefully you get a nicer table.
Do you drink? Do you drink much?
I'm known to have a few red wines here and there.
The red wine. We'll bring a nice big bottle and we can celebrate over it.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Known to have a few bottles of red with my dinner. So
nice. Nice. Any final messages? Any final remarks? Anything you want to be leaving this conversation on?
Mate, tune in to Eternal because this card is stacked. There's going to be a lot of knockouts. There's going to be a lot of entertaining fights. But mainly you want to look at my fight because it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be bloody. And if it's not going to be bloody, one of us is going to go to sleep. So I'm bringing the belt back home and I'm ready to go.
I can't fucking wait, man. It's going to be awesome. I'm really fucking excited for you.
Bro.
Guys, that's been Kaleb Crazy Horse. Whoa, this mic does not want to behave today. That's been Kaleb Crazy Horse Rideouts. Future champion of Eternal, future father, future champion of the world.
I have to bring the belt back so you can wear it.
It's the closest I'm going to get to a belt. Go plug your social medias. Let the people know where to find you.
Follow me, Crazy Horse MMA. Shout out to Rhino Mouthguards, Goat Sports Gear, Baz for organising this and looking after me. Triple X Fight Academy, Eternal, UFC Fight Pass. That's how you get the fight. Let's go.
Let's do it. Guys, remember to smash the subscribe button. Make sure you tune into this fight because it's going to be huge. July 16th on UFC Fight Pass. Or if you want to make the trip down, head on down. I'm sure this ticket's still available.
Yep.
And we will see you next time. Subscribe. What do they need to do?
Subscribe. And one more subscribe.